Hello, 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 and welcome to part 2 of the 252 subscriber special, which isn't one big video today, but some small ones. Thank you all for subscribing. Tell your friends to subscribe if they're interested in Japanese movies, because I talk about Japanese movies and I love them, and it's a lot of fun to talk about Japanese movies. But today we're going to talk, today we're going to talk about another Japanese movie that's called Kabuki no Adauchi, which looks like this, and it has exactly one super stylish moment like this. And besides that, there's a lot of talking, and that's why I think the English title, at least the one they have on Letterboxd, is absolutely horrendous and misleading and should have never been used, or it should never be used, because it's called Samurai Vengeance, which is not completely wrong because they are kind of samurai and there's vengeance, but it sounds like it's a kind of action movie, and this movie has exactly one like fight scene, and oh my god, it's just completely silly. And this movie reminds me a little bit of this movie, because it has a very similar mindset. What I didn't mention over there is basically it's about lonely people who get together, and this one as well. I mean, it's a very common theme in Japanese cinema. You've seen that a million times. It's Anyway, so the thing here is the movie starts with the vengeance of the samurai. After a kabuki play outside the theater, suddenly a guy who disguised as a beautiful woman challenges another dude who ruined his life, killed his father, to a duel to the death, and kills him in very spectacular manner. And even like the people from the theater like bring the lights out and put everything in proper aesthetic, which is already all a little bit off. And then the movie plays, I think, like 1.5 years later, and another samurai, who is, I think, now a Ronin, felt like, yeah, that's a little bit odd. That doesn't sound like this dude who he used to work for. And I think that doesn't sound right. Let me research. And then he talks to the people, especially from this kabuki theater, to find out what's going on. And again, it's a movie that hints many different genres and basically just lives from his charming cast and their interactions and their working together. And yeah, it's another movie that doesn't do anything right, anything like 100%, just mixes everything up, and is kind of entertaining in that way and works surprisingly well. But I saw some critics who were like, nope, doesn't work at all for me. I think it's really good. And let's talk about the cast who glues everything together. That's first Tasuku Emoto, one of the sons of Akira Emoto. His brother is an actor too, and they're both pretty amazing. And he is married to Sakura Ando, and he was, for example, in the fantastic Shin Kamen Rider. Then we have Ken Watanabe. I guess I don't need to explain Ken Watanabe to you. You know, like Godzilla and Inception and Batman Begins. He's one of the Japanese actors in Hollywood. It's funny to see him suddenly as like the boss of a kabuki theater just short time after Kokuho. Very weird, but nice, why not? Then we have Kazuki Kitamura, who most people probably know from Kill Bill? I don't even know what role he played in Kill Bill. Oh, he was Crazy 88 #2. Okay, so nobody will know him, but he was, for example, in The Raid 2 as well, and he was in Blade of the Immortal or Godzilla Final Wars or Dead or Alive. It's a very recognizable face. You will recognize him if you have seen him. We have Koji Seto, who was, for example, in Asako 1 and 2, and in Dollhouse, another very memorable face. And we have Kenichi Takito, who was, for example, in the Takashi Miike films First Love and Lesson of Evil and Terraformers. And he was in Blood of Wolves or Fish Story, some very, very nice movies. And funnily enough, he was in Unforgiven, so the Japanese remake by the director of Kokuho, together with Ken Watanabe and Akira Emoto. So connections everywhere. And we have Makia Yamaguchi, who, the protagonist from Samurai in Time, playing another samurai here. Good, wonderful, very happy. So, what this movie does different from the specials, I put something on the specials. This one has some comedy elements as well, but it's more about the mystery. Interesting, as far as I understood the pamphlet, the character of Emoto, like this samurai who goes there to research, seemingly wasn't in the original book. And in the original book, the story unfolds from monologues, which doesn't really work well in a movie. So they decided to have this character, which maybe is one reason why it's not all that mystery focused, and he doesn't do all that much research. Most of the time he's just hungry and therefore forces people to give him food and then talks to them, and then they slowly but steadily tell him all the stories, and works a little bit better than monologues, I guess. But some people complain that the mystery is pretty soon explained, and then it's just about explaining how it played out. There are some elements that try to make it a little bit more suspenseful, but doesn't really work for suspense. Like I said, the comedy is not all that much, not all that funny. It's more like charming. And then you have this big drama about revenge, which is a little bit more complicated than just like, he killed my father, I want to kill him. There's a more complicated relationship between these characters, which is really nice and really, really well acted. And I think even though the suspense things don't really work and the comedy is not all that much, it's another thing where it's just beautiful to see the story play out, how these people who are more or less gathering at this Kabuki theater, kind of outcasts, kind of little bit weirdos, then coming together and doing stuff. I don't want to spoil the mystery here, because I don't have to tell you that it's a good movie, and it's more fun if you at least it's the middle point where it gets explained, and from there on we just see it unfold how the story happened. And it's like I said, these specials, it's more a charming movie, more of a feel-good movie. Some people complain that the beginning is the only big fancy scene with gorgeous setting and beautiful design and everything. It's in the snow, and our killer here has this beautiful red kimono, and it's really gorgeous and wonderful. But that's the centerpiece of the movie, which everything around is, everything else is like designed around this, and we always get back to the scene with slightly different perspective. And yeah, of course, the centerpiece is the best looking scene, and if it's about showing how we got there and how this actually played out, then we have to show it first. What is like the perspective, that's the official view on this. And it's a really nice movie. Like I said, don't expect some epic samurai revenge story. It's a pretty small, charming, beautiful movie, and I liked it very much. The Japanese audience seems to like it quite well. All the reviews I saw were like pretty good, and it's maybe just a taste thing. Like I said, the English reviews I found on Letterboxd were more a little bit mixed, not negative, but more on the not sure about this. But I think it's a very nice movie. So, I mean, historic movies always have a higher chance of getting released because people are like, that goes well. And I guess just after Kokuho, something with Kabuki relation goes well too. So why not? Maybe there's a chance it gets a release. Just don't expect something completely different. Be ready for nice guys being nice and a little bit of mystery and humor, and then you might be happy with this one. Thank you very much. That's it for today. Have a nice day. Like I said, tell your friends to come to this channel and click support, comment, subscribe, do what people do on YouTube, because I need the help. Good. Thank you. Bye.